As a baby, she was very quiet, and then she turned 1 and she just became, had a lot more personality. Allison's got an older brother, just the 2 of them. And we thought that our son, Cameron, was a good baby until we had Allison. So she was great. She was just very easygoing.
Allison was full of energy, a bit of a troublemaker, funny, fearless. She was the light-hearted side of my wife and me.
Allison, what are you doing? Let's see your nails. Oh, very nice. Wow.
She always displayed the ability to make art out of nothing. So she would get something in her head that she wanted to make. She might do a little internet research and then just find a way to put it together. She had a little collection of knickknacks, and she could build stuff out of nothing.
She just would you could see the spark. Like she would get an idea, and she'd be like, I'm gonna go do that. And she'd go to her, what she called her studio upstairs, and create.
In the summer of 2019, when Allison was about to go into her 8th grade year, and so she was 14 years old at the time, she started telling us that she was having headaches, and they were getting progressively worse and more frequent. So we were working with her pediatrician to try and figure out what the cause of those headaches might be. Thought it may be stress. Allison was beyond an excellent student, but she put a lot of pressure on herself to excel at school. By about Thanksgiving, the headaches weren't getting any better, and dietary changes, things that we tried, didn't seem to be having much of an effect. So Allison had an MRI in early December of 2017, and they found a large brain tumor. And she had surgery the next day at Children's Hospital. We were inpatient then at Children's Hospital for 3 weeks, where Allison basically relearned how to function.
She was a sweet kid, and she had a wonderful heart, and she was always smiling and happy, and we have to ask those kids to do a lot of things that are hard, and she was always positive and willing to do whatever we asked, and she was just fun. We were in therapy one day, and Allison did this dance. It was called the floss. I don't know if you guys know what the floss is, but you can have Eric show you because he's mastered it. So she wanted to teach her therapist how to do the floss. So we're all standing there, and she's in front of, there was 3 of us, and she's doing this dance and trying to teach us how to do it. And the director of the entire neuro rehab program walked in, and our faces were probably like, great, we're just standing here dancing. And Susan said, hey, what's going on? And Allison said, I'm teaching him to do the floss. Get in line. We're going to teach you too. And sure enough, Susan got in line, and Allison taught us all the floss.
Allison's scans were coming back very, very clean. The surgeon was certain he had gotten most of the tumor, but when the pathology came back cancerous or malignant, we realized there may not be a perfect solution to that problem. We had a very normal life for probably almost a year until one day the scan came back and it wasn't so clean. And then we knew that we needed to make the most of the time we had left. Allison was intensely patriotic, but not political. Loved her country. She loved the FBI. She loved when the FBI was in the news. She liked to give me a hard time about that. But she loved the FBI. She thought it was really amusing and fun that her dad was an FBI agent. And for Allison, it was easy. She was, it didn't seem to bother her all that much. I mean, she would have liked to have lived a full life here, but she knew she was going to heaven. For me as a parent, it was brutal. But that was one time when working for the FBI was really a blessing.
She knew. That day, Allison asked to walk around and to tell her teachers and the people who were important to her at school, who she loved, that she wouldn't be returning. As we walked around the school on that last day that I saw her in that fully functioning capacity, You could see the impact that she had made on her teachers, some of her friends and students, and the other staff of the school.
After the cancer came back, which was in about May of 2019, I basically took 5 or 6 months off and just spent quality time with her. And as the family, we traveled. We went on vacation. We just did anything and everything we wanted to do. After Allison's surgery and after we were back home, our local rep for the Agents Association called me and just let me know that the Agents Association was there if we needed any help. It helped tremendously, and it helped in ways I really didn't foresee. But we were able to use money provided by the association to fly relatives in to visit, to fly relatives in to help out with Allison's care in the last few months. Just with a lot of expenses that I didn't realize we were going to have that were a lot larger than I expected. We were always focused on having as much fun as we possibly could. We were focused on not showing Allison how afraid we were or how sad we were.
I never gave up hope that she'd be healed, that God would somehow miraculously heal her. And I didn't want to lose any moment with her I didn't want to grieve for her when she was still here. So it was very peaceful.
She kept telling us, I'm going to be fine. I know where I'm going. She had a really funny sense of humor, even to the very end. So we would be having dinner as a family, which we always do, and she would talk a little bit about her memorial service, and I would tell her how much I was dreading that. And she insisted that I speak at her service, which, was the last thing I wanted to do. But she would have a good laugh about it and say, Daddy, you have to do what I want, so you have to speak in my service. And she wanted me to tell jokes and tell stories, and so I did what she wanted. She wanted me to floss, which I also told her I wouldn't do, but I ended up doing. So.
I realized just that I needed to go at this from a point of thanksgiving and being grateful for what I had, being grateful, and not looking at it as this is what was taken from me, but this is what I had. So, I'm so grateful for those 16 years. And I wish I had more, but I'm so thankful for the ones I got.